We top the hour with a bombshell decision overturning the conviction of Alex Murdaugh for the murders of his wife and his son, granting him a new trial. Bit of a shocker coming in midday today. Hello, everyone. I'm Sandra Smith in New York. John, much more on this coming up.
Yeah, Sandra, I didn't have this one on my bingo card today, but here we are. I'm John Roberts in Washington. This is America Reports. In a unanimous ruling, the South Carolina Supreme Court said that County Clerk Becky Hill, quote, egregiously attacked Murdaugh's credibility and his defense, thus triggering the presumption of prejudice.
We have Fox team coverage to kick off this breaking news story, top of the hour for us. Josh Ritter is here on what a new trial could look like.
But first, to Madison Scarpino with the details on this stunning decision and what it means going forward. Hi, Madison.
Hi, John. Well, Murdaugh is still going to be in prison for 40 years, serving for separate federal financial crimes. But the former South Carolina attorney has always said he did not kill his wife, he did not kill his son. And now he once again has the chance to prove that through a brand new trial. And this is mostly happening because of a local court clerk who admitted to tainting the jury. Now, that former clerk is Becky Hill. And here's what some jurors had to say about her to Martha McCallum on Fox Nation. Watch.
She said the defense has decided that they're going to put Alex on the stand. And she said, now, I don't want you to be fooled by what they say. Pay close attention to his body language, his movements. You're going to hear a lot of things. And then she went on to say how we were all going to be famous. And this is, you know, just the trial of the century.
One juror did tell Martha she felt Hill was very accommodating as a court clerk, but regardless, as you mentioned, the South Carolina Supreme Court unanimously overturning the murder convictions and Murdaugh's double life sentences today. And the justices say Hill, quote, placed her fingers on the scales of justice. They also say she, quote, egregiously attacked Murdaugh's credibility. They say Hill pressured the jury to reach a quick guilty verdict. And Hill did plead guilty to perjury, obstruction of justice, and misconduct back in December, now serving 3 years of probation. On top of the court clerk aspect of this, the justices also say bringing evidence of Murdaugh's financial crimes into the murder trial should not have been allowed. And Murdaugh's attorneys agree with this and also say Hill attacked their client's defense, saying in part, quote, the court rightfully described her conduct as breathtaking, disgraceful, and unprecedented in South Carolina. We respect the decision that made clear the retrial must look very different from the first. They go on to say, Alec has said from day one that he did not kill his wife and son. We look forward to a new trial conducted consistent with the Constitution and the guidance this court has provided. But bottom line, you guys, this is a huge deal in an extremely high-profile case. It captivated the world. There's been countless TV shows, best-selling books, true crime podcasts about Alec Murdaugh, and now his legal drama goes on. Back to you.
Definitely is a stunner, but that unanimous decision is an indication that the court thought that this was highly unfair.
Yeah.
Madison Scarpino for us, leading us off. Thanks, Madison. Sandra?
Thanks.
All right, let's bring in Fox News contributor and criminal defense attorney Josh Ritter. He's also a former prosecutor. First, your reaction to this bombshell ruling.
As a former prosecutor, it's incredibly frustrating. I mean, they put on one really good trial. You're talking about weeks of testimony, dozens of witnesses, hundreds of different exhibits. I thought it was very convincing on the part of the prosecution. And now they're going to have to do it all over again. But as frustrating as that is, I think the court got it right here. All unanimous decision saying this was improper. This is one of the cornerstones of our criminal justice system in the United States is the idea that the jury should not have any outside influence in any kind of way. And these comments made by this clerk were entirely outside of the bonds of what should be acceptable. And I'm glad that the court made this decision today, but it is unfortunate that we're going to have to go through this all over again. But I don't see there was any way getting around those comments, because this would set precedent for future cases, that we cannot allow something like this to stand, where a clerk is essentially saying that the defendant is lying and that he's already guilty, and that you have a juror coming forward saying that it essentially influenced her decision.
So we saw that interview that Martha McCallum did with the jurors. Buster Murdaugh was also asked by Martha about all of this and why the jury would go against his father. And he seemed to indicate that he thought that the entire jury pool was tainted, and not just by the clerk. Listen here.
Why would the jurors be inclined to go against your dad?
Because of everything they had the ability to read prior to the trial. I think that people get overwhelmed, and I think that they believe everything that they read, and I think it took advantage of a jury pool in a very small town, in a very small county.
So he didn't point to what the Supreme Court actually ruled on, which was the judge allowing in evidence of his financial crimes and then this court clerk. But he seemed to suggest that the whole thing was tainted here. And if you go back and you retry this case, can you find an impartial jury?
I think so. You'd be surprised. It is a small community, and it overwhelmed that community while this trial was going on. But you'd be surprised. That's why we have the process that we do for jury selection and voir dire. Jury questionnaires are incredibly extensive, and I think that they would be able to find an impartial jury like they did the first time around. But it's just now, are they going to be able to coordinate all those witnesses again? Are they going to be able to get everyone back in court? Are they able, part of putting on a trial is a little bit of magic that everything falls into place. Having been a prosecutor, I know that sometimes things can go sideways, so you never want to risk going through all of that again. But I will say, usually in retrials, if we're looking that far ahead, they do seem to favor the prosecution because whatever surprises the defense may have had the first time around, they are not able to take advantage of the second time.
He's serving multiple sentences for various financial crimes, Josh. So does this change anything in the meantime until retrial? He doesn't walk free from prison right now.
No, he was sentenced to 40 years. So he's going to definitely remain in prison. But, who knows what might happen with that case is always a concern.
Yeah.
And I guess they would consider it a win if he ended up with something with some sort of determinate sentence, the idea that there was a possibility of him getting out of prison one day. But really, I think it's more about justice for the victims here, for his wife and son that, were tragically lost their lives. That community wants something done about that.
South Carolina's longtime Attorney General Alan Wilson had this to say in response. While we respectfully disagree with the court's decision, my office will aggressively seek to retry Alec Murdaugh for the murders of Maggie and Paul as soon as possible. Let me be clear, this decision does not mean Murdaugh will be released. He'll remain in prison for his financial crimes, as Madison was outlining for us. No one is above the law, and as always, we will continue to fight for justice. The phrase in there, I'll seek to do this as soon as possible. And how soon could they put this together? As you point out, they've got to get back everybody who was in the court there more than 3 years ago now. And they've got to make sure that they've got all the evidence in place. And then there's the court schedule as well. So how soon could this conceivably take place?
Soon. I mean, they've got all of the playbook already outlined. They know what witnesses they need to call. They need to file the paperwork to get this back on the docket because essentially they need to start over again. They need to recharge him, bring him back into court, go through the entire process that they went through the first time. So all of the evidentiary hearings that they had the first time, none of those count. This is a brand new trial for him. So it will take some time, probably similar amount of time that it took to get him to trial the first time around, maybe a little bit quicker with the idea that they kind of already, like I said, know the landscape of the law and the issues that they're dealing with. I can't imagine that they're going to want to delay much, though, because, like I said, the longer this goes on, the more memories fade, the more witnesses become unavailable. The prosecution could have trouble.
All right, Josh Ritter joining us on the breaking news. Josh, thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Now this.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.